do not have communications from the crew.
Oh, I'd not be happy about that. I'm not happy about this either. There's a few things I'm not happy about.
We're standing by.
All right, so Artemis II is arriving.
We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now.
I've arrived to the party late. Because nothing seems to be fucking working around here. And to be honest, the way this is looking,
We are now processing data from Integrity.
may well delete this. Because that's looking atrocious. According to YouTube, it's excellent, but I have my doubts.
Landing and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown.
They've had
target
toilet
zone.
trouble on the way out. I've not been following it. I just find that hilarious. You know, of all things that could possibly go wrong. You know, you had one job. said the crew to the plumber. It's not quite the same as it used to be, is it? Back in the 70s, when I was a lad.
Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect. We're getting intermittent views
That's not me, that's them.
of Integrity. Still waiting to establish voice communication.
Integrity, Houston, comm check, post-blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Your trajectory is nominal, and your recovery teams have visual.
Guidance looks good.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
Big cheers from the viewing room here in Mission Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed
I love
Wiseman.
it. They're always very, very, when you see these
For
things on
America
TV,
and
like
a waiting
particularly the
world,
launches, they're all very, very positive
is
about it all.
5.5 minutes away from coming home.
You know, if you're going to be realistic about it, it'd be
Passing
just be sat there
100,000
like, oh, come on, man.
Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
Well, that's like a split second or coming down at like 18,000 miles an hour. That I just can't comprehend, you know. An engineering type. But to imagine things flying around at thousands of miles an hour, it's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Integrity, impact to the camera controller fail is no Cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity.
I find the
We're
whole
processing
thing
good data
mind-blowing, to
through
be
the
honest.
GPS system.
And I think,
Good view of
you know,
Integrity,
Mr.
time to
Musk,
splashdown 4.5 minutes.
I was looking at, there's another one of his rockets going up
And a view of Integrity from the
sometime tomorrow
WB-57.
morning.
We're at
I
50,000
mean,
feet.
where are we at now? Oh, it's 1 a.m. So sometime, probably about 5 a.m. British time. And the one rocket that's gone up there has had 540 odd landings. What?
The pyros are armed for forward
Mental.
bay cover jettison.
Imagine falling, you're just falling. It's just fucking mind blowing. Look at that, man. poof, there you go.
And there go the first series of parachutes. And we're on drogues.
And
And we're
Houston,
on
we're
drugs,
visual,
did you
2
say?
drogues out the window.
2 good drogue shoots. Next up,
We copy. We see them.
the deployment of pilot parachutes.
Oh,
will
that
pull
looks
the main
awful
chutes
wobbly.
out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
That looks awful wobbly.
Perfect descent rate according to flight
Integrity,
dynamics.
Good rate on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
That looks awful quick. Jesus Christ. I suppose there's various...
Passing through 10,000 feet.
There you go.
Still on drogues.
That's quite low. 10,000 feet. That's quite low. Oh, is this it?
Main chute deploy.
Oh, right. I wondered.
We're at
I thought there's
5,000
only
feet.
2 parachutes. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. More
Circuit recovery
serene.
beacon
That's
has
what
been
we like.
activated on integrity.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And we
Now
have
we're
3 good
talking.
main
Out
chutes.
the window.
Proper Panama moment. If you
Good
ever
3
watched
main
the...
chutes. Good
Panama
reefing. Good descent
cigar.
rate.
Cigarettes.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes. Integrity. Cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Yeah, going back to Mr. Musk, I think if
Integrity copies.
you're one of these who have it in the back of your head that
This is
somehow
a perfect descent for integrity.
Elon Musk
Its
is
crew sounding hale and hearty on
doing
board.
anything other than good for the planet,
Time to splash
you
down
have
1
got
minute
to
15 seconds.
get some help. Seriously, get some help. I mean, you know, you
Integrity
just got to
about
look
complete a
at
journey
what happened with
spanning
Trump.
694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space
There's a massive
Center
problem
back
in
on
America
April
with
1st,
fraud, waste, and
a trip
abuse.
around the moon.
Musk is a very astute businessman, like it or not. Like it or not. You say what you want, I don't care. It made perfect sense for Musk to volunteer his services free of charge for a short period of time, even though it was already announced and already plain that some of Trump's policies were going to affect Musk's business
Passing through
in
1,000
a
feet.
negative fashion, which was the opening up of the petrol vehicle market again. That just was in direct conflict with everything that Musk was, doing with Tesla. Not happy about them poofy little bits of flames, whatever it is, coming out of their mind. That's a little bit worrying. So there was certainly a degree of conflict there. But,
Houston Integrity splashdown, sending post-landing
oh,
command
there
now.
you go, straight in the drink.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy
Well done.
splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Hope everybody's all right.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time.
I think that their little spat
The
was
pages of
engineered. I
Jules
think it
Verne
was
to a
deliberately
modern-day
engineered
mission
just
to
to
the
get
moon.
Musk out of the
A
hole
new
he dug
chapter
himself
of the
into
exploration of our celestial
with
neighbor
regards
is
to
complete.
the backlash
Integrity's
from
astronauts
the lefty
back on
loonies. If they figured that he'd fallen out with Trump, then they'd leave his company alone. They'd leave everybody's
And the
Teslas
landing
alone.
and support officer reports the
Which is
vehicle
exactly
is
what
stable
happened.
one.
It
We
happened
still will be
almost
deploying
overnight.
the crew module
As soon
uprighting
as they
system
thought that
to
he'd fallen out
maintain
with
that
Trump, and there was a
orientation.
huge
A
rift,
perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts.
it all stopped magically overnight. You could have predicted that. Because let's face it, the left aren't exactly what you would call switched on. Not that I'm right wing or anything. I've got very little interest in politics. I know what's right, I know what's wrong. Politically, I couldn't give a shit. If you lie to me about anything, I don't trust you. End of.
The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
It's
Central
that
Time.
simple.
We'll get that refined for you.
So the current government in the
That would
UK
put
just don't
the
stand
end
a
of the
cat and mouse
mission at a
chance
mission
whatever, as
elapsed
far as
time
I'm
of 9
concerned.
days, 1 hour, 31 minutes,
None
35
of them
seconds.
do. None of them in the UK do. They're all liars. Nobody more so than
And we're
Keir
configuring
Starmer.
for very low data rate.
The guy's an absolute clown. Absolute clown.
Once again,
Just
splashdown
makes the
occurring
UK look stupid.
in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego.
You only got in the
at
position you was in
7:07 and
because people
47
were so...
seconds
They
PM.
didn't know what else to do.
Integrity
People were
Houston,
voting
com
for
check on
anything.
VLDR.
They didn't want Conservatives, so they voted. There was no structure to it. There was no plan.
Houston, we have you
So
loud and clear.
by
Field in,
default,
or how else?
he got in.
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in
mistake.
post landing.
Catastrophic. It's going to take years for it to recover from this shit.
Perfect communications established.
A journey.
Oh, well,
are
we
stable
inherited
one,
it. Ah,
4
bollocks.
green crew members.
Everybody inherits something. Look what Trump
Houston
inherited.
copies all.
He's fixed it overnight.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion.
So don't
That
come to
is
me with...
the fact that they're in
oh,
great
we've
condition.
inherited it's going
That's
to
what
take
that
some time.
means.
Bullshit.
So stable 1,
If you want to do, you
upright.
could
The
fix it.
crew module uprighting system is being deployed. The 5 airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was a textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy
Absolutely
Hansen back
flipping
on
remarkable,
Earth
this, though.
after a journey
And
around
for
the moon.
Musk's vehicles to have done like over 500 landings, that's just astonishing. It's, and this is one of them. I can't remember which one it is. But it's one of these that gets caught as it lands. And I mean, that in itself, holy shit, man. But to have achieved over 500 successful landings is... You know, if somebody had said that to you 20 years ago, you wouldn't have believed it. You know,
On
500
upright
times.
configuration.
You might have bought the
There's a
reuse an
good view
aircraft bit,
from,
but not
one
the
of the naval
500.
helicopters
That
hovering
amount of
overhead.
repeatability on a single aircraft or spacecraft.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
They're all in excellent shape, but all need a change of underwear. This is outstanding. I love this type of stuff. When I was a kid, I was brought up on it, you know. I had posters of the space landing, the moon landing.
Integrity Houston for SAR beacon and radio.
I was born in 1960 something. And
SAR beacon is in 406.
my
and we're
birthday
powering
is
the
actually
radio now.
on
Go ahead.
one of the significant dates.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
Oh,
Okay, copy. We are also powering
so it kind
up
of stuck
the
with me
SAT
because
program
my
now.
birthday was on this particular date. Then I just, as a child, I was automatically interested in, oh, right, okay, well, that must make me special kind
So
of thing.
integrity is in great shape. And as the crew continues its post-splashdown timelined activities on board, Reed Wiseman once again reporting that all 4 crew members are in
And I
excellent shape.
love that, I think it was Buzz
And we
Aldrin.
have 5 inflated
Smacked
airbags to
some-
maintain an upright configuration.
Moon landing
So that,
denier
reaction,
straight in the kisser.
the recovery
Caught
team,
on video, getting
can
punched
now
in the
begin
mush.
a slow
What a laugh.
approach to the vehicle.
I
Meanwhile,
don't
here in the
condone
flight
violence, of
control room,
course,
entry
but
flight director Rick
you can imagine
Hensling
how
is,
pissed off he was
pulling his
having
team of
been up
flight
there.
controllers for the start.
You know, dance
of
around the
powering
sea,
down
he's trying,
the vehicle
been swimming in the
after
sea of
thorough
tranquility.
systems check. We have no toxic gases.
You know.
to be concerned about
on the moon,
so the recovery
on the big lump of
personnel can
cheese,
approach the vehicle.
and
But not
you
until
get
we
some
have
clown
powered down the spacecraft. That's expected
denying
to
that
take
it
a few more
ever
minutes.
happened. I was watching him. I was watching this guy. He was the guy who got punched. I was watching him on I think it was Piers Morgan, and he had this photograph, and it was the shadows of two lampposts. I just could not believe how this guy was trying to justify it, using shadows of lampposts. One of the shadows was in focus, one of them wasn't, but which means that they were at vastly different focal lengths.
Integrity back
But
on
he's
Earth,
just ignoring that.
following its historic flyby of the moon. It was, for all intents and purposes, a
Flyby
textbook
of the
mission.
moon. Sounds like they were hanging out the window. Hey, moon! See you later!
We copy.
Shooting past it at thousands of miles an hour. First time we've ever seen the far side of the moon.
Some trouble with
I always
the,
wondered
SARSAT
what that was
phone
all
on
about,
board.
because I thought that
But
the
that's
moon
not
spun
an
round,
issue. What
you
is
know.
more important
But
is
it didn't.
that the
It
vehicle
just
is
sits there.
solid.
Sits there staring at us.
No issues
So-
as we begin the power down of the vehicle to begin the recovery process.
Looks like somebody's piles, doesn't it? Floating in the water. Oh dear. Yeah, don't get us started on Mr. Musk. I think he's...
The propulsion officer here in Mission Control reports that we have safed the prop system on integrity.
Can you say again? That was very weak and
he's an
broken.
outstanding thinker. There's just no getting away from it.
Integrity,
don't care what-
Houston did not call.
What you think about him, about his politics or lack thereof.
Copy that, Houston. It might have been on the SAR radio. Stand by.
He's just a very astute businessman.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion.
And if
Integrity entering the Earth's atmosphere right on time.
I defy to think of any
reaching its peak speed
negative
shortly after a
that he's
blackout
come up
period
with,
began. We emerged from the blackout period, but
since the inception of
recovery
the likes of
imagery airborne assets were
the
able
Boring
to pick
Company
up
and
Integrity's descent
Tesla,
almost immediately
SpaceX.
through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle.
I've got
by a
Starlink
series of 3 parachutes.
for a
Then
number of
the
reasons,
drogue chutes
but
were deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes.
that thing is
that
so well
slowed,
made, it's
the
unreal. The
splashdown
attention to detail on the build of that, even
Integrity to
down
just
to the
19
design
miles an
of
hour.
the RJ45 sockets, which is the network sockets, on the back of the router and the back of the dish. There's something particular about the latching mechanism on those things that has been so... the attention to detail with regards to the latching mechanism on that RJ45 connector is... that to me, that's an indicator of the amount of thought that's gone into the design.
Integrity, Houston, with No Joy on
If you've got
SAR
one,
and SAT
you may know
phone,
what I'm
we'd
talking
like
about.
you to command
If you've got
an
one, you may not
additional
know what I'm
15
talking about.
minutes for a total of 30 minutes
It's
power
that-
down delay.
You know, it's that microscopic a detail.
All right, Jackie, we have selected T/D+30. No Joy on.
See, the thing
SAR
about
radio
having
or SAT.
Starlink is the UK government can't interfere
And
with
stand
your
by, we have
internet.
the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey, Lily. Excuse me. Hey, Jackie. We just got the master diver on the SAR.
wonder if Keir Starmer's watching this and he sees that
view
boat
of
in
one
there
of the
thinking,
fast
yeah,
boats.
Integrity
we should get some of
if
that.
you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back
Oh,
to
crikey,
the
no, that's a
15-minute
rib.
countdown.
Rigid inflatable. No, we've got enough of them, mate. We get them on a daily basis.
Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
Free
The
from
crew on board
France.
Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle, which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft. There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in establishing a SARSAT or satellite phone communications capability between the crew on board Integrity and the recovery team. That will get sorted out here shortly. There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity, so there's no rush to
that's
begin
quite
the power
a
down.
claim to fame, isn't it,
On
really?
the
You know,
sat phone and not getting an answer there.
I was the
either.
first person to see the dark side of the moon.
Concur. We haven't
I wonder if
had
they
anything
played Pink
come through.
Floyd. Swimming round it.
And Houston, if you could relay to recovery that we hear them, but it does not appear as though they are hearing us.
I wonder if that's still
Houston
warm.
copies, and
Obviously, the
just to
bottom won't be
confirm,
because
you
the
are
water will be nice and chilly.
Pushing the PTT on the radio.
But that's been through some. I suppose the last point of re-entry is going to cool it, I guess.
So as we continue to sort out the communications between Integrity and the recovery teams, we are standing by for the initiation of the power down procedures that, as you see, the recovery teams are moving towards the side of the capsule. The next major event will be the erection of that large
Opens the door,
inflatable
water floods
raft
in, and it
called
sinks.
the front
No.
porch. That will be the port of call for the crew as they're being extracted one by one from the vehicle.
Their audio, by the way, is very quiet. It's not just. I've had to boost it, but I can only
Integrity
boost it so
Houston
far.
for sat phone. We are going to attempt to call you.
Good idea. Standing by.
And Jackie, yes, we are pushing the push to talk, the two buttons on the left side of the radio below the up-down arrows. We are utilizing them. I'm rebooting the radio to see if we get good comms.
Okay, we copy all, and just to confirm, you are seeing that you're touchdown plus 3030 for power, correct?
That's affirmative.
Nice day for it.
We are trying a backdoor approach
Oh.
to have mission control here call the crew on their satellite phone. This is all part of the coordination for the power down
Right, so
of
they-
the vehicle. That,
The crew
will
can't hear.
initiate
They can hear the crew,
actual,
but the
recovery
crew can't hear
operation.
them.
The first
So the crew
boats
are sat
with the
there
Navy divers
wondering,
on board
you know,
are
can we get out?
standing by, waiting to close in on Integrity to begin the process of erecting the large inflatable raft. That's called the front porch.
Wonder why they're
That,
standing off.
will be where the astronauts are extracted from, so that they can have a few minutes to get their land legs back before they're hoisted aboard the Navy helicopters for the flight back to the deck of the USS John P.
Do
Murtha.
not reply.
Now, from what I understand, I might have gotten this wrong, but they're only in that little pod thing there for the trip back home, there was a slightly bigger pit. I might be wrong. But somewhere, anyway.
And Houston, please don't reply. NRD, very weak, but readable. Master Diver, we can hear, but they cannot hear us.
Going back to toilet trouble. Somewhere floating around space. There's a load of space frozen dookie, isn't there? Somewhere. Somebody at some point is going to bump into that. Wonder what the fuck. The human race is left with something. Oh dear. Bastards.
And Houston, we sent out, on OE1, is there any chance to tie us into NRD?
There was some sort of space message, I believe, on Sputnik, which was the... Oh, no, not Sputnik. I'm lying. It was either Sputnik or Voyager 1.
Checking.
Or Voyager 1, I can't remember. But it was like this etched plate with some basic symbolism on. So I think there was a male, a female, and a very basic astral map of where we've come from.
While we stand by for
Should
the
any
establishment
aliens
of
find
communications
us,
between Integrity and
or
the
find
recovery
the
team
satellite,
that is
be it
basically
Sputnik
standing
or
by
Voyager.
very close to
might
the
be Voyager.
spacecraft, we're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is
So,
standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Wherever Voyager is now, and I believe that it's only quite recently. I mean, it went out in the late 60s. Might even be earlier.
Hey Rob,
than
yeah,
that.
just such an honor to be able to be here on
fact,
the
it will
ship,
be
to be
earlier
able
than
to
the late
share and
60s.
experience this moment with everyone together. And of course, as you just said,
And I
yes,
believe it's only
here
recently
with
just
NASA
fallen off the
Administrator
radar
Jared
kind of
Isaacman.
thing, but it's still
Administrator,
drifting
how did
away.
you feel getting to witness this
And going
and
out,
seeing NASA
it's
at its best?
outbound.
Oh, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm
so
still
at
at a
some
loss
point,
for words. I mean,
assuming
like the childhood Jared right
there
now
are
can't
such a
believe
thing,
what I just saw. I mean, I've almost been
an alien
waiting my whole lifetime to see this, and then
may have it land in
as
his
NASA
backyard.
Administrator, I just couldn't be more proud of the entire workforce, the years, the effort, the late nights, all the hard work from across the country that contributed to this incredible moment right now. And yeah, incredibly grateful too for our teams here on the John P. Murtha right now.
Yeah, look at the behind us
We
here.
got everybody. Hey, what do you guys think? We just brought some astronauts back from the moon, huh? Unbelievable.
Very positive.
Thank you. Yeah, so grateful to the Navy, the sailors that are here, the NASA teams. I mean, this is a joint effort that's on their way right now. These recovery forces are getting out to our Orion spacecraft, to Integrity, to get our astronauts back on the ship safely.
Yeah, and this is not just an accomplishment for NASA. This is an accomplishment for humanity. Again, a historic mission to the moon and back. How does this make you feel, and what do you hope people take away from this?
Well, I'll tell you, I think about the crew members that we've all had an opportunity to observe over the last 10 days, right? I mean, they're absolutely professional astronauts. I mean, wonderful communicators, almost poets. But then I think these were the ambassadors from humanity to the stars that we sent out there right now. And I can't imagine a better crew than the Artemis II crew that just completed a perfect mission right now. So yes, it's a huge moment for everybody, right? I mean, we are back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, bringing them back safely, and to set up for a series more. I mean, this is not a once in a lifetime, which you hear sometimes around here. It's like, this was a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. This is just the beginning. We are going to get back into doing this with frequency, sending missions to the moon until we land on it in 2028 and start building our base.
Yeah, are we going to build on the momentum for Artemis III? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get the crew off of Integrity right now.
So you're saying they're going to build on the the momentum.
integrity back
The
on
difference
this ship so
here
we can
is
start
that
taking a look at
NASA,
it, because
believe it or
all
not,
that
are on
data is so
quite a
precious
limited
to us right
budget.
now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to
the difference
download all the
between
data they
NASA
couldn't transmit
and
back to us
SpaceX
and use
is
that to inform Artemis II. But we're already making progress,
the
right?
more
You had SRB
satellites
segments already showing up at
SpaceX launch,
KSC. Core stage for
the more
Artemis
money they
III is
make.
rolling out on April 20th.
NASA don't make a penny out of this.
We're getting Mobile Launcher 1 back in vehicle assembly building. So, yes,
So that
there is a lot to
becomes
celebrate
an
right now
immediate
on
funding
a mission
issue.
well accomplished for
And
Artemis
this is
II.
why,
And at the same
part of the
time, we got to
reason why
start getting ready for
SpaceX
3.
Amazing.
are
And last
able to do
question,
what
you
they
know,
do,
for
because they
people
make money
who
out of it.
joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together with our international partners, what do you think about the fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more?
From Starlink.
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, yes,
Both
it's the
of them.
contributions, like the best and brightest across the NASA workforce from across the country, our industry partners, our international partners. We had a Canadian Space Agency astronaut on board in Jeremy. We had the European Service Module. And you think, in the days leading up to this launch, I mean, 48 hours prior to launching Artemis II, I was meeting with the Italian Space Agency. We signed a memorandum of understanding to build a habitation module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort. We are returning to the moon. We're doing it to stay. We are building that enduring presence. We are going to master the skills on the surface of the moon so someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time.
I think he mentioned
and we're
a
not going
European
at it
country
alone.
there. I
We're
think it
bringing
was Italy.
everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew
wanting to get on the
you guys
bandwagon
ready to
and
land on the moon?
putting habitation on the moon and whatever. Imagine Keir Starmer saying anything like
Thank
that.
you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the
Yeah,
crew
right.
get extracted from Orion. So stay tuned, and we'll see you
God.
back here shortly.
Awesome. Well done. I mean, I'm going to stick around, actually, because I want to see if they get
Thank you,
out.
Megan, and thank you, Administrator Isaacman. We are in the process of working
So you'll have
to
half of
establish
Europe
that
all
communications
sort of clubbing
link
together.
and to establish the procedures
And,
that will lead to the power down of the spacecraft, which is
What the
gently
fuck Keir
bombing in the
Starmer's gonna
Pacific
have to say
following a
about that, I don't know.
bullseye touchdown. That
Absolute
occurred
clown.
at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, 2.5 hours before sunset in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego.
The thing about
We
Mr.
have
Starmer is
once
that
again heard from the crew during that interview
we just come out of
opportunity with
COVID.
the
We had one
administrator,
government in that
and we
made
have
a,
4
well,
healthy
any
crew
government
members on
that
board.
trying to sell the COVID idea that they all should be jailed.
We now
for
have
life.
confirmation that the vehicle has been powered down
because of the
as
torment
per the
and the
procedures.
long-lasting
so we have
damage
vehicle
that they
power
cause
down,
people mentally.
And the flight control team here in Houston, Flight Director Rick Henfling, has handed over mission authority
So
to
we
the
just wanted rid of the
Exploration Ground
Conservatives.
Systems
And
team
that was it.
out in
If
the
COVID
Pacific.
hadn't
Now,
happened, the
we
Conservatives
will
might have survived.
physically not get off console with this team until the crew has been extracted into the front porch, that inflatable raft that will be erected along the side hatch of Integrity. So we're standing by for that.
The net result
The
of
next
that
step
was
in the
that we
recovery procedures,
despised
but everything is in great shape.
the
And we have
Conservatives.
4
There
healthy
was
crew members on board the
hatred there.
vehicle.
There was passion behind that hatred. We absolutely despised them. With Keir Starmer, there's no passion. People don't despise him. They just think he's useless.
All of the entry events
not even
went by the
worth
book, no issues,
that
perfect
amount of
trajectory for
He's
Integrity.
just a complete
That was culminated
waste
with
of
one
space.
final raise burn.
He might as well
to
not be there.
improve the angle of attack for
It's
the
like
vehicle
having a
as it
man
entered
off.
the Earth's atmosphere. All of that flight
It's
dynamics
completely
computation
vacant. It's
worked
unbelievable.
like a charm.
And anybody who supports him, I mean, well, these are the people who have been walking around wearing masks a year after you weren't supposed to be wearing masks with COVID, you know. A lot of them still are. All the blue-haired lot, you know, nose rings and whatnot.
So we are standing by for the recovery team to approach integrity and begin the process of erecting that
look,
inflatable raft called the front porch, which will see the crew members be extracted
it's not that I
from
don't like them.
hatch of Orion.
It just
They've
got a problem.
Raft before
they have mental issues.
Two Navy helicopters.
This whole thing about DAI being fair.
In a
are you
variety
mental?
Of different configurations.
The whole trans thing. Are you mental?
Will be hoisted in sequential fashion,
there's
in alternating
sexes.
fashion. Two crew members
are you
for
mental?
Each helicopter before they turn around to head back to the John P. Murtha.
Gender is different to sex. No, it isn't.
Brought into medical bay for
no, it isn't.
comprehensive medical exams.
I'll say it again. No, it isn't.
Several times
go back.
The crew is in
go back
shape.
And start reading the definition of gender in any dictionary prior to the, I don't know, the turn of this century. It's only recently that the lefties have sort of influenced that, and the universities
so just to
have got a lot to do with
it has been
universities should all shut down.
26.5 minutes
no use.
Since
serve
the
no
splashdown
purpose.
of integrity
None.
in the Pacific. The vehicle is in excellent shape. It performed like a champ all the way down through the Earth's atmosphere. All of the vehicle functions.
And that's genuine. They serve absolutely no purpose.
If
you want to, for instance,
if you
all
deployed as
say arguably, if you want to become a rocket
occurring
scientist,
at 7:07 p.m. Central Time,
that information
5:07 p.m. Pacific Time
is available off the internet. The information you need to train yourself to become a rocket scientist is available off the internet.
And after a bit of a tussle to try
and
to establish a
without
communications link with the recovery team, we were finally able to run through the procedures for the powering down of the vehicle. We've handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems folks out in the Pacific, and the recovery team will be approaching the vehicle shortly to erect the inflatable raft called the front porch before opening the hatch.
They probably will in the UK.
Bring the crew members onto that raft before they're hoisted.
I think the decline's going to start in America.
Navy helicopters, two crew members for each helicopter
is the
before
time
they're
that it's
flown
starting.
back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
The UK will be way, way, way behind because that's what we're like. I never thought I'd hear myself say it, I remember the Queen's Jubilee in 75 or 77, 70, I always get it mixed up. As kids, we were proud to be British. We were proud of the monarchy, It was almost like the sort of that end of the war feeling. I mean, I wasn't born anywhere near the war. It was way gone before I came along. But that sort of stiff upper lip and, everything that's quintessentially British. It was drilled into us at school. The Queen came. I remember the Queen came to visit the town. The whole town came out. Nobody would ever say a word against her. Not because they were being silenced or they were frightened to. It's because they didn't want to. Everybody loved the Queen. Now they're trying to get rid of the monarchy. They're getting rid of the Navy. Oh, well, they've managed to do that, haven't they? Because we haven't got one. The place is just falling apart. It's falling apart at the seams. It's ridiculous. It's an embarrassment. I would rather not say, well, it's blatantly obvious where I come from, but I'd rather not reveal that I came from the UK. If given the option. Come on, man, get out. There's only so much air I can fill.
This is Mission Control Houston. After talking to the flight dynamics folks, we have a bit of a refinement on the splashdown time for you. Their computation shows a splashdown time of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
Come on, then.
Once again, from Flight Dynamics, a splashdown time of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
I thought they were
Reports from the Pacific indicate that the recovery team in communications with the crew aboard Integrity, that the crew remains in excellent shape as they await the approach of the team for a final hazard gas
You know what's happening now, don't you?
Before they move to
Change
the side
underwear.
of the vehicle to erect the inflatable life raft called the front porch. Again, no issues with Integrity. The vehicle is powered down. All of its systems are now safed. We have handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems folks in the Pacific, but we will not stand down and have the entry flight control team depart its positions until that inflatable raft, the front porch, is erected, the hatch open, and the crew having exited the vehicle. So that's the next step in the recovery process that will lead to the hoisting of the crew members. For 2 crew members for each helicopter, they'll be hoisted to a pair of Navy helicopters that will then fly a short distance back to the USS John P. Murtha. What you're looking at is one of the fast boats circling the vehicle to make a hazard assessment.
Cue the theme from Jaws. Just add another dimension. I've got a tune in my head now. Oh dear. What the hell? Oh dear.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, you're watching the initiation of the recovery of the Artemis crew aboard Integrity. All of the Navy divers and the fast boats are now approaching the spacecraft after conducting a hazard assessment. The vehicle has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle so that the hatch can be opened and the crew members extracted from Integrity, soon to be hoisted one by one into a pair of Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. If you missed it earlier, we talked to Flight Dynamics and received a more official touchdown time or splashdown time, as it were, of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
I think I'm suffering from some atmospherics myself. Bear in mind this stream's going via Starlink. Don't know what the quality's going to turn out like. It's been fluctuating wildly. Come on, man. Want to see them? Five of them get out. One of them's called Paul. Can I edit that? Yes, I can.
Continuing to get excellent views from the imagery assets out at sea in the Pacific of Integrity. We continue to get good reports from the landing and support officer, who's in contact with the recovery team, that the crew is in excellent shape, no issues. They're just currently biding their time, waiting for the front porch to be erected. We have no hazardous hazard gases and no hazardous situation with the vehicle.
I bet there was some hazardous gases on the way down.
from entry interface to its splashdown in the Pacific at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. And as you can see, the first phalanx of recovery personnel now pulling up alongside of Integrity.
What the hell's a phalanx?
This includes Navy divers and Navy flight
why
surgeons,
would you even use such a word?
and other recovery personnel who have trained for
Let's just
several
Google
years
that.
for this recovery process.
Straight away, straight over the stream. Look at that. Couldn't make this shit up, could he? Phalanx, a tightly packed rectangular military formation of infantry. Yeah, okay then. Slight misuse of the word there, matey.
At this hour, some 41 minutes following splashdown, the vehicle has been powered down. There's no hazardous gas emanating from the vehicle. That's why the first team of recovery personnel has been able to pull alongside Integrity. And the reports continue to come in that the 4 astronauts are in excellent shape. Yes.
Don't know whether he's just scored a goal or something, or he's playing office golf and he's just got a hole in one, but yes! Came out there. Gotta say, this is NASA's feed, and they're not doing a great job of keeping everybody informed, are they?
This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to watch the initiation of the recovery of Integrity's astronauts. One by one, they'll be brought out of the spacecraft onto a large inflatable raft just a short time from now. In the meantime, we can go back to the USS John P. Murtha, where my colleague Megan Cruz is standing by to provide her situation report. Megan, can you hear us?
Hey, Rob. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, we're back here on the bow of the recovery ship where there are still plenty of people peering out into the water. We are not very far from the action everyone is seeing on their screen now. The Orion spacecraft, Integrity, in the ocean, surrounded by a number of recovery Hey, Rob. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, we're back here on the bow of the recovery ship where there are still plenty of people peering out into the water. Personnel specifically trained to get the astronauts out of Orion. In some of our wide shots, you can probably see that there are 6 boats out in the water. more than 40 people out in the water right now on those boats.
Oh, I want to talk to Keir Starmer. He can get a few more than 40 on. Oh, they're latched on. They're attached.
First order of business is to set up the front porch and the stabilization collar. You might also hear it referred to as a stab collar. Basically just to make sure that Orion stays upright, doesn't sway in the water too much, again, to make it easier for recovery forces to get the astronauts out.
That's a bit of a worrying statement. I mean, staying upright.
Again, we splashed down in the Pacific Ocean just after 5 p.m. Pacific time here. It's a requirement by NASA to be able to get the crew out of Orion within 2 hours of splashdown.
2 hours?
So doing great on time so far. Plenty of time. No rush either. I was speaking to NASA flight surgeon.
I think if
Rick
I was on there,
Schering
I'd be wanting out straight away.
Broadcast, and he said to me, no rush to get the crew out. Just want to make sure that they're feeling good. And whenever they're ready to take their step out of Orion and onto that large raft, the front porch, folks will be ready. And as there are mission audio loops in Mission Control in Houston, there is a mission audio loop here on the ship, and it was just reported out that the side hatch is open. Side hatch of integrity is open.
First out,
we're getting these
Paul.
Beautiful shots from our aerial assets. The ship itself, where I'm on, just 3,000 yards away. Again, plenty of people on the boat here.
They're all getting in there.
Side closest to where they can see all this action. And again, with just 3,000 yards separating us, great views from the bow here. You can see now that side hatch is open. One of the Navy personnel is about to get inside there.
Look, they're going in with a blanket. Looks like somebody has had a bit of an accident.
In they go. In total, 4 will go into Orion. So it'll be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but the goal is to have a recovery personnel with each astronaut assessing them. Boats getting closer now. Again, that one that's right up against Orion, those are the divers that will go in to the spacecraft to check on each of the astronauts. These other boats will begin doing a number of things, putting on that stabilization collar onto Orion, building that front porch. Eventually, they will retrieve the parachutes, as well as
there's been a lot of talk about this front porch,
back to the well deck of the recovery ship here.
I don't see no front porch. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Suppose after a few days
and so as we wait for the Navy and NASA personnel to get their assessments
flying around
of
the planet
inside of Orion, why don't we toss it back
in a
to
cramped
Rob
space,
for an
you're going to be a bit...
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Here in Mission Control, Flight Director Rick Henfling and the entry team
bit
of flight
wobbly on your
controllers
feet.
still on duty. The vehicle has been powered down for some time now. There are no hazardous gases emanating from integrity. That, of course, allowed the recovery personnel to approach the vehicle and then open the hatch to begin the initial medical assessment of the crew, as you just indicated. Now we're standing by for the erection of that inflatable raft, the front porch, alongside of the vehicle. That will enable the crew to be extracted one by one onto the raft, have a moment or two to get their land legs back before they're hoisted into two hovering Navy helicopters, 2 crew members for each helicopter, for a short flight back to the deck.
Look, I'm not being pedantic deliberately, but how on earth do you get your land legs back?
All of Integrity's systems
out at sea
operated flawlessly throughout the course of the approach to the Earth, the entry into the Earth's atmosphere, and all of the key milestones that followed in this high-speed return to Earth for Integrity, a mission that spanned more than 694,000 miles from the vehicle's launch from the Kennedy Space Center atop the Space Launch System back on April 1st.
I was watching a bit of footage when immediately after the launch, and the 4 of them were, answering a few questions. And there was like a stuffed toy, and they were juggling the microphone, that kind of thing. But it all looked very, very awkward. The whole thing just looked awkward. Now, I don't know if that's because of the type of people they are, and they're not used to...
As we mentioned,
I'm saying, I was going to say you're not used to doing things to camera, but that's a bit of a tall ask, isn't it, really? To find somebody who's not used to doing talking to cameras in this day and age, because everything is Zoom, Teams, FaceTime, whatever it is, it's everybody's talking to bloody cameras. So
we have reenacted
I don't know,
that
but it looked very awkward to me, very awkward.
As they flew around the moon.
Particularly the way, I don't know the names, but the girl
began with a
that's gone up there,
injection burn,
she was obsessively adjusting the position of a stuffed toy.
A high Earth orbit trajectory.
Now, whether that had some relevance to somebody on land or back on Earth,
have a full 24 hours
I don't know,
to evaluate the systems on Integrity,
it just looked very
and
awkward.
the condition of the crew before they would commit to flying to the moon.
What he said there sounded like this has been a road test. Hello, I think the cat's just walked in. Oh, there he is. Oh, bastard. A road test before they commit to flying to the moon. For me, the moon... all I'll say is watch Alien 3. That's what you should be using the moon for. I'm looking upwards because my monitor that's monitoring the stream is up there. I didn't realise how much of a bloody delay there is. Jesus. I wonder where they're videoing this from, because that must be some telephoto lens I've got on there. I also watched a bit of William Shatner being interviewed. I think he was in the same thing as the guy who was denying the moon landing. And that to me was, you know, probably one of our greatest achievements, was to actually send William Shatner into space. I just find that fucking awesome.
With the side hatch of Orion,
sending Captain Kirk, who spent his life
for the erection of the inflatable
he hasn't
life
spent
raft,
his life, has he? But
known as the front porch.
I guess to a large degree,
the spacecraft.
that's him.
For the
Captain
extraction
Kirk.
of the crew.
James Tiberius
Let's play
Kirk.
for you an interview that my colleague Megan Cruz conducted on the USS
that's
John
who
P. Murtha
you associate
with Navy
him
diver
with.
First Class David
So he's gone through his life with that
how this process is
hanging around his
unfolding.
neck. And he eventually actually got into space. That to me is fucking remarkable. And I saw the footage of what he was like, his reactions as it was happening, as he's in whatever it was he went up in. And he was just blown away. He was they all were. There was a handful of them in there, but he was absolutely blown away by it. And you know, he gets emotional about it. And I've got to admit, it was quite an emotional thought to see this, you know, now an old guy in space becoming the thing that he you know, he became Captain Kirk, didn't he, for that moment. I thought that was just so special.
And then once that is done, we'll undo all the carabiners and get this orange line on top tied in the same fashion. And then this will be secured to the capsule, and the astronauts can safely take their first steps out of the capsule onto the front porch.
Okay, and how long will it take them to set up the stabilization collar?
We should definitely be able to handle this in under 10 minutes.
Okay, wow. And then you just mentioned the front porch. So basically, after they set up this stabilization collar, then they set up what's called the front porch here.
That's correct.
Okay, and what's the front porch?
Front porch is basically a bigger waiting room for the astronauts to sit in while we wait for the helicopters to show up and grab them.
Okay, so the medical team that was inside with the crew, they're going to help them out and onto the front porch?
That is correct.
And then what happens here?
We have higher trained medical personnel also on board the front porch that will give them lookovers and just make sure they're okay while we wait for the helicopters to show up.
Okay. How does it feel, I mean, your team, you, to be part of a mission that's returning astronauts from the moon in more than 50 years?
We all feel extremely honored to be a part of this, as well as a bigger mission for the Navy and joining up with NASA to do great things.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like you and your team are ready?
Yes, very ready.
Cool. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, the recovery operations are continuing out in the Pacific. We shortly should see that life raft, the front porch, erected alongside the side hatch of the vehicle. A number of flight controllers have come into the flight control room to receive congratulations.
There's a lot of noise in the background. Sounds like people are getting a bit too rambunctious.
Stick with our operations
so
out
the
of
mic
the
got
Pacific
muted.
as we await the extraction of the 4 crew members who are reported to be in excellent condition.
And they're still in excellent condition.
Again, while we stand by for that front porch to be erected alongside of the side hatch of the vehicle.
This sounds like it's going to take forever.
Let's go back to the USS John P. Murtha and Megan Cruz. Megan?
I think we've been on here the best part of an hour. Well, I got any
Hey, Rob. Pausing now to listen to some...
Yeah, hour, 10 minutes.
Pausing to listen to some internal audio loops. Again, the operations team here on the ship communicating with everyone out on the water. It seems like currents are hindering them a little bit from unfurling and inflating the stabilization collar as well as the front porch. But again, the requirement to get the crew out within 2 hours of splashdown, plenty of time. So no concerns just yet.
Well,
but as calm as the water looks, yeah, it looks like it's hindering the teams just a tad. You can see in some of our shots that side hatch still open. Again, inside there are now 8 people inside. 4 divers, Navy divers, all with medical training, each assigned to an astronaut each. Making sure that they're comfortable, feeling good. As you've heard us say in the broadcast, you know, they expect a little bit of discomfort. Again, these astronauts just traveled back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour, a nearly 695,000 mile journey around the moon. If you think you get car sick.
Sure. That would be me.
Again, 6 boats out there, lots of gear with them, just in case, right? As we said, the crew reported feeling great. But again, all those folks out there in case they weren't, right? NASA is all about making sure we think about every situation that can happen. And so, of course, wanted to be ready in case any of our astronauts needed more medical attention while out there in the water. You see now teams, again, trying to set up the stabilization collar and front porch for the crew to get out of Orion. They need both, right? The stabilization collar will keep Orion from swaying as you see it is doing now. And then they will connect the front porch to the stabilization collar so that the crew can take 2 steps and they will be in the front porch.
Please don't tell me they've got to blow that thing up by hand.
Not a lot of chatter on the mission audio loops. That's a
all
good
right,
thing.
I see what's going on.
Again,
I see what's going
proceeding
on.
pretty nominally, even if they're fighting some currents out there on the Pacific Ocean. Again, the goal, setting up the stabilization collar and the front porch so that the crew can rest comfortably in the front porch, get placed into harnesses, so that 2 helicopters can lift them off the front porch and onto the USS John Murtha here.
So it looks like you've got a...
The helicopters are going to take turns.
They're unfurling
an
a
astronaut.
large sausage
So
right
again,
round the
Hilo
base
1
of
and
the...
Hilo 2.
The thing. Don't know what it's called. What's it called? And it looked like you've got at least one diver who's going in
here on the ship
and looks like he's
got
just
a report from the
working his way
medical
around,
officer
tying it up
inside
to the
capsule
side
with the
there.
crew. He is reporting all 4
So we've got
members
this
are green.
circular
All
sausage
of our 4
now being
astronauts,
attached
Reed,
to the
Victor,
outside
Christina,
of the...
Jeremy, green, meaning they are feeling great.
I'm hoping they've
Not
got
the
some
complexion
bottled
of their
air.
skin. They are feeling great, happy to be
Or
home,
a car battery in a
and ready to be extracted
tire inflator.
as soon as possible.
Plug it in the cigarette lighter, you know what I mean? Otherwise we're going to be here a while.
And so, as I was saying, we have 2 helicopters circling the activity you're seeing on the water right now. Each will take turns picking up an astronaut. So Hilo 1
Yeah,
will
there's a
come
couple
on
of...
in,
Oh, there's 3,
hover
4,
above the front porch, about 40
5
feet
divers
above the
that I
front
can see.
porch. A Navy recovery specialist will be hoisted down into the front porch.
The restricted maneuvering doctrine is in effect.
Will connect to the first astronaut, which we're expecting to be Christina. And then Hilo 2 comes around, picks up Jeremy, while Hilo 1 stays above head. And then Hilo 1 will come back in for another astronaut, and then Hilo 2 for the last astronaut, and then back to the flight deck here on the recovery ship. I was talking to Assistant Artemis Recovery Director Paul Sierpinski. He said helos are a much quicker, safer way to get on board. They did actually consider boats, but then if you think about it, longer time, the crew would have to move through more of the ship. This way the helos will give a more direct, quicker route to the medical.
And you know that once you get them off,
4 astronauts.
they're not going home for a lie down, are they? It'll be debriefing and
from our aerial and
all
imagery
manner of
teams.
stuff, health checks, and that's going to be a whole big old pain in the backside.
Clouds have dissipated for a clear view from the bow of the recovery ship here. You can still see divers in the water there.
You know, we look at advances in
Circling
technology.
Orion, that is that stabilization collar we've been telling you about.
And how far we've come as
you saw in that interview just a
as
few
the
minutes
human
ago.
race.
They have to first connect it to Orion.
And
then
really,
once it's
in the
secured
whole
onto
scheme of
Orion,
things,
they can inflate it.
All of this has
and then
happened
they'll
over 50 years.
Further secure it with other harnesses and lines.
It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's not even a pinprick in time. 50 years. You know. What this is going to be, we're just at this. This is very much the beginning. This isn't even the beginning. In 1,000 years' time, assuming we haven't destroyed ourselves, which I think
Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy
is unlikely.
back home after a history-making mission to the moon and back.
But for a series of cataclysmic events, we're probably still going to be here. In 1,000 years' time, the technologies we might even understand magnetism by then, because we don't at the minute.
And if you missed what we said just a couple of minutes ago, the undersea medical officer inside with the crew in Orion, reporting all 4 crew members feeling great. Progress being made there on the stabilization collar. It looks like they are beginning to inflate it.
Oh, those 5 guys in the water aren't blowing that up by mouth.
Looks like they're starting to
Jesus, oh
unfold
my God.
the front porch in order to get that into the water here shortly and inflate that as well.
Oh, that must be the front porch. There you go. Look at that. Yep. Oh, somebody's got that
Again,
plugged into fag lighter, haven't they?
Now.
That's going up at a rate of knots.
And those Navy and NASA personnel have been in the water for now about 4 hours.
Everything's nicely blown up. That's stabilised that. I was a bit sceptical about how well that stabilisation thing would work, but it has made a significant difference. Because that thing was bobbing about like a bobbing about thing bobs on National Bobbing About Day, having overdosed on I'm going to bob around tablets.
When there are flight operations happening, you can't have anything else, right? Just because the flight deck can be a dangerous place, so they just want to focus on planes coming and going from the ship, so that's why they wanted to get the boats in the water to make sure that they have all the time they needed for the flight ops. And then the same crew here out in the water, they will stay out in the water for a number of hours after we recover the crew and get them back on the ship, because then they have to recover Orion. All right, that stabilization collar looking good around Orion. We're now seeing some recovery personnel getting on to that collar. Again, they need to further attach it to Orion to make sure that it can really prop up the spacecraft. It's basically lifting it up off of the water just a tad. Again, so it's not so so it doesn't sway so much in the water there.
Ah, move the subtitles. Come on, man.
And now that front porch looks like it's nearly fully inflated as well. You can see a much larger surface area. And so once the crew get out of Orion, they can stretch their legs a little bit on this front porch, get some fresh air. And enjoy this beautiful day here on their home planet.
I'm sure that guy who was demonstrating the front porch earlier on said that there was... Okay, I was going to say it right. So he said there was
now are about to connect the front
kind of health and safety type medical staff maybe, but I think those guys got in and they're actually inside. So there's 8 people now inside of it.
Secure. We should soon see astronauts come out of Orion.
Inside of Orion. There you go. It looks kind of alienish, doesn't it? It looks kind of, I've just arrived from space. You wouldn't poke that with a stick if you found it lying on a beach somewhere.
All these views you see also being fed to the Landing Force Operations Center here on the ship. Of course, it is very important for our recovery teams leading the mission to have all the views that you're seeing as well.
I've streamed this at 4K and
again, listening to
I don't know whether it is an atmospheric issue or what, I don't know. But
very quiet, which is a good thing. It means things are going pretty nominally.
There's a fair amount of frames being dropped.
Expected.
I needn't have bothered because the quality of video from NASA is fairly atrocious. So.
Again, all this activity happening just 3,000 yards away from the ship. So that means this will be a very quick flight back on the helicopters for the crew. 2-3 minutes, and then they'll be back here on the ship.
I know.
Okay, saw a thumbs up.
This could be
from
it.
One of the personnel on the front porch. It looks like they are now getting ready to...
Blankets are out.
Deploy what they call the Air Rescue Vest, ARV. And so this is the harness that each crew member will get into in order to be hoisted
Maybe it's
into
an ARV.
the helicopters. Again, those helicopters hovering just about 40 feet above the front porch when they're ready to pick up each crew member.
I want to turn, I want to go.
This is Mission Control Houston. Behind me, a fairly raucous scene as hundreds of flight controllers have poured into the flight control room here. This is reminiscent of the scene after the final shuttle mission of STS-135, although that was the end of a program. This is only the beginning of a program with the textbook splashdown of Integrity and its 4 astronauts. We're standing by for the crew to be extracted from the spacecraft. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling invited all of these flight controllers who have contributed to this mission to enter the flight control room to have an opportunity to receive well wishes and to share the mutual glow that exists in the wake of a textbook mission for Integrity. On the front screen here in Mission Control, a sign that says "Welcome Home Integrity, taking humanity back to the moon, going further, and returning safely to Earth." So all of that jubilation, part of the post-splashdown activities, even as we await the crew being extracted from the vehicle to be hoisted onto Navy helicopters for the trip back to the USS John P. Murtha.
Remarkable stuff. remarkable.
Once again here in Mission Control, this view of the Artemis Flight Control Room, known as the White Flight Control Room. This is the old Shuttle Flight Control Room, and now is the home of Artemis missions to the moon and beyond. Once again, quite a few flight controllers were invited in by Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling to share in the jubilation following the successful splashdown of Integrity. That splashdown occurring an hour and 22 minutes ago, as we stand by for the completion of the extraction of the crew, and ultimately they're hoisting onto Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the USS John P. Murtha. Splashdown occurred at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. I had an opportunity to talk to the head of Flight Dynamics, Jeff Birch, a moment or two ago. He said the trajectory of Integrity coming through the Earth's atmosphere was so precise, they've never seen anything line up on a ground track like today's entry by Integrity for its splashdown
like
southwest of San Diego.
Like you've never seen before. Come on, NASA, man. Mate with a comment.
And the initial, you can hear it.
Oh, is that somebody out? I believe there's somebody out.
Jubilation here in the flight control room. The first crew member is out of Integrity. We are expecting the other crew members momentarily to be extracted.
Oh, they're coming out thick and fast.
We now have 2 crew members out.
I wonder what the pay is like.
2 crew members out, 2 to go.
You know, is this like just a bit of overtime kind of thing?
We're about 1 hour from sunset out in the Pacific. Everything continues to go well. Integrity's
it's up past 2 in the morning here.
Perfectly during its entry back to Earth. And Reed Wiseman, the commander who will be last out of the vehicle, reported that all the crew members were feeling very well.
I thought he said will be left out of the vehicle.
Crew member number
Third
3
one
now
out.
out. And now standing by for the commander, Reed Wiseman, who will be last out of his ship. Bobbing in the Pacific under almost ideal conditions, Integrity spanned 694,000 miles during its journey from launch to splashdown.
I wonder what happens to it. You know, or I assume they don't sink it and they take it away. But do you reuse any of the kit off of it? Is it reusable?
And we now have
looks like
Reed Wiseman out of the vehicle. All 4 crew members now out of Integrity. Once again, all 4 crew members now on the front porch, and the procedure to begin hoisting them up to these 2 Navy helicopters hovering overhead will begin shortly.
Let's watch them getting lifted away, and I think we'll call it a day. Completely military operation, though, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of the NASA version of these exercises always seems so much more involved than, you know, we've seen the likes of Jeff Bezos and whatnot being sent up to the... Effectively, it's the same sort of deal, isn't it? They're going into space, and they're coming back down. It wasn't really this much of an exercise. I get safety first and all of that, and maybe the whole Bezos experience might have been a little bit slapdash even. I don't know. Is it overkill? Do you need 30 people just to get 4 people out of
the... over, but the melody lingers on as jubilation,
you know, transferring people from one vessel to another.
We should be expecting NASA.
I used to do inshore rescue in rigid inflatable boats.
For a short interview while the
we never had 30, 40 people
continue out on the
lifting
Pacific.
people from one
we'll
vessel to another.
For that. And then we'll turn it back over to Megan Cruz aboard the USS John P. Murtha.
It was very much an indignant grab them by the collar and yank them into the boat kind of. NASA are really got to pull you up about your commentary. Now, I would have thought that the helicopters would have been in within seconds. I mean, they've been circling above for God knows how long
this
now.
Is Mission Control Houston here in the Artemis Flight Control Room. A number of flight controllers basking in the glory of the successful end of this mission that carried 4 astronauts around the moon on a lunar flyby, and the first test flight of Orion with crew members on board. Splashdown occurring an hour and 32 minutes ago after a flawless descent back into the Earth's atmosphere for the vehicle. Its 4 crew members in good shape.
Where is he off? He's a diver in the water. I think there's something yellow been floating in the water for the last hour, and it kept catching my eye, and I think he's off to go and get it.
We're expecting Amit Kshatriya, the NASA Associate Administrator, to join us here momentarily for a brief interview before we turn it back over to Megan Cruz aboard the USS John P. Murtha, the recovery ship.
Fascinating nonetheless. Yeah, I was right. He's coming back with that yellow, whatever it is in the background there. It's different, isn't it? You know, when we first did this, the whole world was watching. Now it's kind of, I mean, you know, the vast majority of the planet don't even realise this has just happened. Been around the moon. So what?
This is Mission Control Houston. We're about an hour and 34 minutes since the textbook splashdown of integrity in the Pacific to bring home our astronauts. And with us now is Amit Kshatriya, the NASA Associate Administrator. Amit, a little bit of history made tonight, a little bit of history made over the past few weeks. Your thoughts as this team here basks in the glow of what they just accomplished?
Yeah, Rob, we're here in the control center, and it's kind of overrun with jubilant folks in the Mission Control Houston, as well as engineering, and folks that just want to be here, part of it, as we watch our crew get extracted from the vehicle. And you know, my thought is always
pronouncing his name.
These teams, the team that's in the water right now, pulling the crew out, the team here in Houston.
I'm serious.
That worked so hard over the last 10 days, no sleep to get this done. You know, we still have some work to do to get the crew to the med bay here on the ship. They all look great coming out, so hopefully that won't be too long. You know, I think we saw the administrator on the boat too, giving his thanks to the Navy team on the Murtha, which they're just an incredible group of sailors. I was able to visit with them a couple weeks ago. And then if you pull it all the way back to the workers and the folks that joined the rocket at Michoud, that made the heat shield tiles that held together tonight, that stacked the vehicle in Florida, that integrated the vehicle in Denver, that fired the engines in Stennis, that fired the boosters in Promontory. I mean, this is the entire team, you know, coming together and being tested by the environment that this machine went through, and they did it right. The work was good. They did it right.
You've said in a number of briefings, of course, and in other forums that this is just the first step. The cadence has to step up, as the administrator has indicated. Now, it's a little early for the full report card on how Integrity did, but did this mission ultimately, from your eyes view, exceed expectations?
It absolutely did. I mean, I was waiting to talk about this until we're in the water, and I think we still have, again, work to do to bring it in and really kind of go through it bolt by bolt and see what we learned. But I mean, so far, given what we learned during the mission and given how we performed on ascent, on entry, I always think about energy in terms of the states that you worry about the most, and every time we put these machines through these incredibly energetic states, they came through. So I'm fairly confident that we made a big step tonight to get us on the path towards the surface. I think the path to the surface is open now. We do have to do all the work, and we'll make sure we talk about that as cleanly as we can. We learned a few things during the mission, but I have to tell you, this I
went on about how when I was younger, I was sort of into all of this.
From an American psyche standpoint, the Empire
in 1957, the Russians sent a stray dog
Our coverage was seen on baseball
into
stadiums
space
around the major leagues.
on Sputnik 2.
How captivating was this experience for the American people, for the world, in fact?
Now,
as we
I
returned
foolishly
to the moon?
thought that
I have not been able to watch a lot of the coverage.
they were reasonable human beings and they wanted the dog back.
The mission, I will
It
tell you,
didn't.
just from my witness,
They had no intention
in Florida
of getting
before
the dog
launch,
back.
and then seeing the people's faces here, and then
So the dog went to
reading
space,
where I can
never
about
to
how
return.
things are going. I think this has been a gift to the
But
world
unfortunately,
from NASA.
the cooling system failed and the dog was cooked
to folks
within
all over the
5
place,
hours
especially
of
young
it
people,
leaving
and that,
the
to
planet.
me, is what this is really about. Young
So,
people, when they see
well
what we
done.
can do when we work together, when we have
Nice.
teams that collaborate, that it
Dog's
doesn't matter
name
how
was Leica.
hard, the problems are,
was
we
it
can solve
Leica?
them. I'm hopeful
Always
that
said it
Artemis
was
II,
Leica. Yeah, Leica.
as folks witness what we were able to do with this
And I
incredible
seem
crew,
to-
this
I
incredible team that we've
don't know if I
birthed
can
into the
pull up
world.
a picture. I think it
Scientists
was
and
like a little
engineers
Jack
and artists
Russell
that have been
type. Oh, there you
inspired
go,
by
little
this.
Jack Russell
And even
type.
if they don't come work in the program, which separately they should come work in the program, because Lord knows we need the help. But even if they don't want to come work in the program, hopefully
There
they
you
grow
go.
up to recognize they
Little
can do
Leica.
amazing things when they work together and contribute to society and be good citizens and really change the way.
Stray mongrel from the streets of Moscow flew aboard Sputnik 2, 3rd of November 1957.
One final question. Flying to the moon.
A technology to re-enter that atmosphere had not yet been developed, so they knew she was never coming back.
That went behind the
I
design
think
of
that
this
is
mission,
fucking disgusting.
And the precision, the pinpoint
It absolutely
precision of
is.
this vehicle entering that entry corridor, it's almost mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is incredible when you think about the energies involved and the uncertainties
Don't
involved.
get me started.
When we inserted the
get me
vehicle into
started
orbit, it was
on
99.2%
using
down the
animals
middle.
for-
When we
for
dropped
anything.
the vehicle right on top of the fleet here, our guys knew exactly where to go, but the guidance was perfect. And it's interesting. I've got this question a lot over the last few weeks about.
Nope, here comes that
we
jelly
did this,
cop
We
there.
did this before, 53 years ago, and that. It is a reasonable thing to contemplate. Like what's gone on since then, and what I'd tell you is. When we did Apollo, which again, the more we learn about what they did, the more magical it seems what they were
Downdraft.
able to accomplish.
They're going
given
on
the
about
technology and the learning
this
that
is
they
far
had.
safer than getting them
When we
onto a
did
ship and
Apollo,
all
the
that.
architects of
I
Apollo,
don't know.
Gilbert,
I
Seaman,
mean, that's
LeBron, Mueller. What they really, really wanted to do, as they were contemplating what it meant to expand our range of action to the lunar surface, what they wanted to do was learn how to live and work in space for a long time. They wanted to do that first before they were confident they could expand their range of action to the moon. Now, of course, the politics of the time and the mission at the time was different, and so they had to go straight to the moon and bring people home. And then after that, the program kind of lost its momentum. But after that, NASA kept moving along those paths, right? So we recognized during Apollo that reusability was going to be
I think
important.
it was
We
10
spent a lot
years
of money on
later
those
that
machines.
Yuri
We spent a lot of
Gagarin,
money on these machines here.
Russian cosmonaut, was first man in
But we recognized
space.
that reusability was
Hang on,
important,
let's
which is why
check
we built
that.
a winged space plane called the Space Shuttle. And then we used that reusable machine
Gagarin.
to build a space station. And we learned for 25 years how to live and work in space and have been able to develop technologies that can enable exploration. So really, what I think is now, 53 years later, we're at the point where the architects of Apollo would have been pleased that we're now ready to actually go back to the moon and go back to stay, because we've learned all the things we needed to learn.
There's a lot of people pleased here tonight.
Oh, was it 10 years later?
We really
It was
thank
earlier
you
than
for
I thought.
joining us, Ahmed Shatria, NASA's
12th
Associate
of April,
Administrator,
1961.
as we begin to hoist the
completed
crew onto the helicopters to head
an
back to the
orbit of the
recovery ship.
Earth.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob.
Congratulations.
First man
on
in
it.
space. And there they go. They're off, waving. Thank you and good night. Yep. I mean, I guess to a lot of people it seems like nothing, but
This is
to
Mission
get
Control
to where
Houston,
they've
with
been
the crew
is
members now beginning to be hoisted aboard the Navy helicopters.
just
Let's go
astonishing.
to Megan Cruz aboard
Absolutely
the USS
astonishing.
John P. Murtha, who will take
Anyway,
us from here.
that'll do for now. I do believe.
Hey, Rob, yeah, back on the bow of the ship here, we are
Oh, you
seeing
see, now I'm tempted.
helicopters circling Orion. The first one there, having just completed
No,
picking
we'll
up
leave it there.
the first astronaut. Helo
Good
2
stuff.
now,
Catch you later.
hovering just 40 feet above the